baby.
Yeah.
Miracle, miracle, serves. Miracle, miracle, serves. Miracle, miracle, serves. Miracle, miracle, serves.
We keep having all these problems. How we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. Yeah. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of the arguing and lying. So goodbye, all the hurt and crying. Things will change in you, so how can I expect something new? It's the same old thing.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is July the 4th. Yes, it's the 4th of July, Independence Day 2025. And yeah, man, today's topic is It's Already Done. Happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thursday. Mine was just fine. Guess mine was good overall. Man, I hope you guys are in a better mood today. You know, I know the past few days have been a little rough and tough, but man, we are pushing through, and I'm grateful for everything. Y'all know I went to work yesterday. Y'all saw that a new series got aired on the platform yesterday as well, called Moms and Blessings. I was also live on Mom Bob's TikTok last night. So man, a lot of stuff has been going on, but I'm here. I am here on this holiday to chit chat with you guys real quick about whatever the Lord was bringing to me this morning, and then I hope that it encourages you and inspires you on your Independence Day. For those of us here in America, right? I guess those elsewhere it's just a regular day, right? But anywho, let's get into this conversation. So where did it come from today? Well, I listened to the prayer meditation, and so the interesting thing is, if you've been following me on this journey with the juice and everything like that, then you guys know that usually I listen to this app called the Soul Space app, and basically, you know, I usually would listen to it every day because, again, I would be doing this Monday through Saturday, and I've been doing this ever since 2020. So at this point, right, I believe that I've probably listened to like everything that they've had to offer. It's just that they have a new one come up every day, and so I think I've started to notice the like repeats at this point because, again, I've been listening to it for years. So I listened to one that I'm pretty sure I've heard before. But I mean, again, I try to always listen with fresh ears and things of that nature, right? And so as I was listening, you know, and just reflecting on the words and remembering the words and stuff like that, the phrase "it's already done" came into my heart and mind. And so I just, you know, took that into my little back pocket, right, to look into when I got done, you know, listening and praying. And yeah, so with that in my mind, as well as I woke up at, I didn't write down the times because it wasn't significant for my verses today. But whatever time I woke up this morning, I think it was like 6:48, something like that. And then also, I want to say, was it early this morning? I was still wide awake and like binge watching. Lately, I've been watching Desperate Housewives. I know. But, you know, just binge watching that series on Prime. Is what I've been doing the past week or so or whatever. And so, you know, I was watching some of that, and I think I dreamed about that, but I didn't remember it, and I didn't write it down when I woke up and stuff like that. But yeah, so with all of those things in my heart and mind, that is what inspired today's conversation. And so, you know, obviously, like I said, I was going deeper about, you know, the phrase "it's already done," and then I also was you know, going deeper about the verses, different things of that nature. And this is what I feel led to share today. I also, okay, let me tell you guys another part of this as well, because I feel like it's significant to this conversation. So, as I was reflecting on those things and thinking about it already being done and things of that nature, I was reminded that I got like a little bit of, I guess early exposure or intervention, or however you want to say. Basically, yesterday, Yours truly was paid for my job. I usually get paid on Fridays, but I don't know if it's just because it's the holidays, whatever the case may be. But I got paid early yesterday. And I felt like that part was significant as well to this conversation. So let's get into it and let's see what the Lord was sharing with me. And I hope that it encourages and inspires you. So first, I look at the definition of done. Now, when I looked at the definition, the regular one, I wasn't resonating. I was like, well, Lord, what are you showing me with this word done today? So I decided to go deeper about the biblical definition of the word done. And this is what I came across. It says, signifies completion, fulfillment, or the execution of a task or purpose. So, now one thing I did feel led to do this morning, once receiving this word about it's already done, I was texting Allie, and I mean, she hasn't responded to everything that I've texted over the past few days, but she has responded here and there. So I just sent her a message this morning because I remembered that I don't know if I told her that I didn't get the podcast opportunity. But I wanted to tell her what I did get, which was like a discount or something like that. So I was telling her that, and then I also was, I felt led to let her know it's already done, and let her know what I was receiving about that, right? And so, and as I was typing her, I just was like, well, even when it looks like evil is winning, at the end of the day, we've already won as believers, right? That's what the Bible's telling us, right? So, I hope that can be encouraging and inspired today, because I understand that, when we see things around us, whether it's as big as this whole situation with this Diddy trial, right? Or maybe it's just something that you got going on in your personal life, right? And you're like wondering, is God there? I guess I'm here to remind you today, friends, if you guys are here listening to the sound of my voice, that God is saying to you through me, that it's already done. Whatever that situation is, you ain't even got to worry about it, because he already has it under control. I guess, again, I'm reminded of the prayer meditation that I listened to this morning, because one part of it was talking about like being a child, and your parent has brought home all these groceries, and you're looking at it, you're excited because you got snacks, you got juice, you got all this stuff, and then your parent asks you what you want. You can have anything, and you just accept a cracker. And so the thing was going deeper about that concept and things like that. And again, like I told you guys, I've heard this before, but regardless, right? How many times do we do that, right? We don't think like that God's there, right? We see all the abundance and all the provision and all the things, but at the same time, it's like, well, let me take the crumbs, right? Let me just believe for this small thing, or whatever the case may be. Now, there's nothing wrong with like taking your time with your faith, because everybody's on their own journey, right? So sometimes we might have to, do faith in doses and pieces. I had to do it like that. I mean, every time I tell my testimony at this point, all I'm going to say is that, hey, I had a lot of faith in my, single years, right? Like, Lord, I'm praying for this man. I'm praying for this husband that you're talking about to me, that I don't see around me and things like that, right? And then when I met the gentleman that I'm married to today, I was like, Lord, you did that. Wow, you was really listening to me. And that multiplied my faith times 10, to where I was like, well, what you gonna do with my business endeavors then? What you gonna do with my finances then? Well, let me just slowly start trusting you in different areas of my life. And then now I'm at the point where I'm like, not even necessarily even questioning the Lord about, me and my life and things like that. But it was in doses. I'll be honest about that. It wasn't like I had, big faith and was like, yes, I trust God with everything. And then just, I did it in stages and pieces. So there's nothing wrong with that, or going through your process or journey. And again, I guess I'm just here to remind us today to start, right? And understand that, hey, whatever the Lord has established for us is already done. Like he did it on the cross, right? He did it before we was even a thought. Matter of fact, let me give you guys the first verse that stood out to me to share. It's Isaiah 65:24. It says, before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. So at the end of the day, he already knows, right? He knows what you're going to pray. He knows his plan for you. He says it's good, right? If you study the word, man, all this stuff sounds familiar. It should sound familiar to you. But friends, it's already done. And again, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, I hope that this is resonating with you today, and that you can receive this information, especially if you're somebody that's been struggling and wondering, is God there, and how things are going to turn out and things like that. It's already done. And like I said, I hope that it's encouraging and inspiring. I have another verse, and I didn't feel led to write down too many. So this is the last verse that I felt led to write down in reference to this conversation. And it's Luke 7:48. It says, your sins are forgiven. And that's it, right? Yeah. It was telling us that our sins are forgiven, friends. So at the end of the day, again, we know that we all have sinned and fallen short. And so to know that that is forgiven is truly a blessing. It's truly a freeing thing. And look, on this Independence Day, can we celebrate that, right? Celebrate the independence that God has given us from sin. Friends, I felt led to write down some quotes and some different little side notes about this conversation. But like I said, I really, really was going deeper about this idea and the different things that was popping up in my mind as I was thinking about it. And again, I was reminded of yesterday. I was like, Lord, you paid me in advance yesterday. And something about that stood out. And I just was like, well, Lord, what are you telling me today? You know what I mean? You say it's already done. You're reminding me that it's Independence Day as well. So I'm already free, things of that nature. But what about this whole me getting paid early thing? Like, I feel like it's got something tied with it. So I'm just going to share with you guys my little notes and different things. And then hopefully, again, this will resonate with you. So something I received this morning is this, friends. I will provide for you on time, ahead of time, every time. Can we look, is anybody dancing in their spirit right now? Anybody clapping right now that the Lord has confirmed that, listen, he is outside of time and space. Look, it's already done. And he said he'll provide for you every time, right? On time, ahead of time, and every time. So, I definitely have witnessed this in my life. I just told y'all I got paid in advance. Look, he provided for me ahead of time, right? He's provided for me, look, on time, right? And then even, look, every time, like, even when things didn't go the way I thought, right? Even if I didn't get what I thought I wanted, right? The Lord has been providing for me every time. So much so where it's like, you know what? I ain't got to even worry about things not looking the way I think it should. Because at the end of the day, it's going to work out the way the Lord wants it to work out. And so, again, we could be talking about big issues, right? We could be talking about little small issues, but whatever it is, I hope that, again, this can be encouraging to know that God is there. It's already done, and he's going to provide. He's going to provide, but we got to be trusting in him. And I feel like there was a verse I think I was supposed to write it down. I'm sorry I didn't write it down now. But it is in the Go Deeper section. Just go to openbible.info, friends. Plug that in and then plug in the quote, it's already done. And there's plenty of verses that you guys can peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds centered around this conversation. The one that came into my mind right now is towards the end of the page. Like, you have to scroll all the way down to the end of the page. To get to it, and if I feel led to share it in the after show, I guess I'll look it up and do it then. But yeah, friends, but more than anything, again, just remembering that God will provide. Like, at the end of the day, we don't have to worry about how things look, right? Even what other people say. Matter of fact, here are some other side notes that I feel led to write down this morning, friends. God is not confined to places, right? We think that, like, oh, it has to be like this, or it has to be over here, or it has to do with be that. But God's not confined to any of that. He's not even confined to, again, time or space or any of those things. And so instead of putting the Lord in a box, right, and thinking that things need to go the way we think it should go, we should start seeking the Lord about what he wants, right? Again, y'all know that I was on my journey, and I did that exact thing. At some point, again, y'all should know it at this point, man. Look, I'm about to put out a little quiz about me and see if y'all know these things, because I say this stuff all the time. But shout out again to Pastor Sammy, right, at God's House Orlando in Florida. I was down there at that particular time, and I was on my journey reading the Bible and reading the whole thing. Like, I was on my journey just to read the whole thing and receiving the words that the pastor would say on Sunday, and sometimes they would correlate, and I'd be like, wait a minute, I just read this last night. Is it? But yeah, so during that particular time, what got me on this journey of not just trusting the Lord, but like actually asking the Lord, like, what did he want, was when Pastor Sammy said one day, when you make God's wants your wants, you're going to get what you want. And I was like, that's the first time I started to ask the Lord, well, Lord, what is it that you want? Because again, when you hear my testimony, I done said it over and over again. But long story short, friends, what was going on at that particular time was that I was working, it wasn't no 9 to 5, but I was working at Disney. So I was doing like 40 hours, right? Working there, getting my weekly check, living on my own, living single, you know what I'm saying? I was out here, I had my own place and car and all this stuff, right? And just doing my thing down in Florida, right? But I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I was feeling like something was missing. Now, was I doing exactly what I wanted to do in my job? No, not necessarily, but I was, in the field, right? In the realm of what I wanted to do. So I was happy about that, and I was okay with that. So then, I was wondering, well, Lord, maybe I need to pursue more of my, what I actually want to do, right? So I started to, build connections outside of Disney. I was working there at the time. So I started to build connections outside of Disney, start working on music, start working on, getting in plays and shows and doing all that, thinking like, okay, I'm working, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get to where I want to be. And something still felt like it was missing, still felt like it's wrong, still like throwing me off. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's love. It's love. I never got the, love and marriage. Lord, where is that? Why is that not happening for me? Things of that nature. Just going deeper. And then I go to church and get that word. When you make God's wants what you want, then you're going to get what you want. I said, well, Lord, okay then. I thought that we was on the same page, right? I thought that, you wanted me to pursue. I went to school for theater, I thought that's what we're on track for. But apparently, maybe I'm missing something here. And obviously I was, because the Lord had other plans. As you guys can see, yes, I'm using my skills, right, as a performer. And I'm so grateful, right? But at the end of the day, obviously he wanted me working at the church, right? He wanted me creating books, right? He wanted me to be online, sitting here talking to y'all, apparently, you know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, friends, that at the end of the day, we got to stop trying to put God in the box, right? We got to stop trying to say to God, hey, do my idea, do my plan. I want this, I want that, and you need to do what I'm saying to do. At the end of the day, listen, if it's not going to be a part of his bigger picture and his will and stuff like that, then, what purpose does it serve at the end of the day? You can get all the accolades and fame, but look, like the Bible say, friends, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? So at the end of the day, look, like I told you guys before, what I received that time was the Lord saying to me, hey, the only thing that's going to last is what you do for me. And me, I said, well, I want to do something that's going to last. And so here I am today, right? Pouring into the children at the church, right? Pouring into y'all online, pouring into my family. Look, probably not doing the best job. I don't know. We got to ask my husband and my son. But I'm trying my best, right? To pour into my family as a wife and as a mom, things of that nature. And what got me on this path and on this track today was, look, being obedient and saying, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? And then going down that path. I could have went down my own way and path, and we probably would not be here today. I don't even know where I would be. To be honest, like I said, even when I look back at 2020, I'm over here like, I still don't know where I would be if I didn't be obedient to do this right here. So much was hinging on me being obedient and doing the GSL, apparently. You know what I'm saying? It was like the first domino to make all my other dreams and aspirations start coming to fruition. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I hope that this could be encouraging and inspiring to know that it's already done. I mean, I know that God is doing even way more things than I even imagined with me in my life. And so, I'm just trying to share my testimony because, again, this ain't just for me. Right? Like, he just ain't doing this only for me. I believe he wants to do these things for all of us, but we have to be open and obedient and stop putting him in a box. All right, he had me go ham about that one, so I hope y'all was listening. Stop putting the Lord in a box. The next part of my little notes that I felt led to write down was that your past is not your future, friends. Listen, I don't know if that's Pope today, when we think about our past and things like that, but we don't have to let that hold us back or hold us down. At the end of the day, your past is not your future. Even if you did the lowest of the lowest thing, right? At the end of the day, God can change you and your life. I mean, there's so many biblical figures that we can look at and read and study about, right? But we can look at people around us as well. Like, do you know that person in the neighborhood that started off on this, tawdry dark path and then turned their life around, and then Christ is making them, a mentor or something along those lines? Like, think about that. I mean, or just go back to the Bible and read about Saul killing the Christians at one point, right? But then he turned him around, made him Paul, and he's out there writing half of the Bible, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things to think about, that God can truly change you in your life, right? He can change your name, right? He can change everything about you, because at the end of the day, he is calling us who he created us to be. Now, some of us aren't accepting the call, and that's part of the problem, right? But that doesn't change who he created you to be. And so I guess that holds even more weight on your obedience, right? Because if you don't, right, become who God created you to be, then, you know, that seems to hold a big weight. And when you read Bible and when you study, now I don't know if I'm saying something weird or crazy, but that's what it's saying to me. When I'm studying it, it's letting me know that, okay, I need to get on track with whatever the Lord wants me to do, right? Who he created me to be, things of that nature. So I think I said it. I think I said what I was supposed to say there. And, you know, again, your past is not your future. You don't have to let that thing hold you down and hold you back. You know, again, repent, right? Which means turn around and then move forward. Yeah. And look, my son just said, yeah, so there you go. From the mouths of babes. Let me give you guys another one, guys. It says, the crowd doesn't need to understand. Now, look. This is good juice for me this morning. I hope you are receiving it today. People don't have to understand what the Lord is doing. Other people do not have to understand at all. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I haven't shared this publicly, and I'm probably not gonna share too much. But let's just say this, okay? So there's an opportunity on the horizon for me and for GSL, and it's an opportunity that I wasn't even expecting. Right? I'm in partnership in a way with this opportunity already, but this would take me from partnership to ownership. If the Lord, if everything pans out the way it looked like it's going, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just letting y'all know. So in this situation, right, it is a very huge investment. And I'm over here like, Lord, unless look, you gonna take the 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. I don't know how in the world this gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And so, now we had some preliminary discussions, right? And after that preliminary discussion, you know, we're talking about it behind the scenes, which please understand, when I say my team, I know I sound like I'm just some established, you know what I'm saying? Look, do I sound like I'm a Proverbs 31? No. But, you know, oh, my son say no, hater. Okay, you don't even know what Proverbs 31 is. But anyway, I'm saying all this to say, friends, that at the end of the day, you know, this situation is I'm walking on a lot of faith right now. And when it was first presented to me, I felt in my spirit that this was an opportunity for me, right? And I'm like, well, Lord, how? Because how am I going to invest in this? You know what I mean? And so we have the conversation, and it seemed like it's just really big. I'm like, well, Lord, I don't know how in the world this is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, you know. And so me and my husband, so I was getting ready to tell y'all, when I say my team, like, y'all know that it's mostly just me, right? Like, I mean, like, shout out to my international dream team. I do have a virtual assistant, you know what I'm saying? And I do have the gentleman that's helping me edit videos online. But those 2 individuals are being compensated, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it's like investing in GSL and investing in anything I got going on, it's invested. Y'all get that, right? Like, I ain't got no sponsors like that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that has ever, like, did anything to, you know, I got Fiverr people every now and then to be like, hey, promote my blah, 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 you know. But outside of that, like, I mean, you know, look, it's the Lord provided around here, okay? So, anywho, so this thing is on the table, and I'm sitting here like, well, Lord, how? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing saved towards this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, goodness gracious, like, but this sounds like an amazing opportunity. I would love to do it, right? I don't understand how this is going to happen, right? So I respond. I say, well, you know, thank you guys so much for considering us, and thank you so much for having the conversation and coming to the table and everything like that. I would love to do it. It's just right now, basically, financially, I don't know how this is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Or I didn't say it like that, but, you know, being professional, you know what I'm saying? My first professional email to basically let them know, like, this is a big commitment at this particular time, right? And when you know, I got a response that says, let's negotiate, basically is what it was saying. And I'm over here like, Lord, look, I know you up to something, and you doing something. You know, because like I said, even from the beginning, I felt like, you know, the Lord was like, hey, it's already done. Look. Is this a word for somebody? I felt like the Lord said, it's already done. In the beginning, right? And I was like, hey, okay, let's see. You know what I'm saying? Having conversations, come to the table. Ooh, this is heavy. Hold on. Ooh, this is heavy. Hey, just letting you know this is a little bit heavy right now. I'm not sure. Da 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 da. Once again, second confirmation. It's already done. I said, well, Lord, okay. Well, let's figure out how to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? Different things of that nature. So we working on these things behind the scene. But when I'm sharing this stuff to say, friends, that at the end of the day, you know, everybody might think I'm crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? My husband may not fully understand. He might be like, how is this? You know, I say my financial advisor, but y'all know what I'm talking about, Kelvin, right? Like, that's my brother. At the end of the day, like, and he just, you know, every now and then I'm able to bounce ideas with him and stuff like that. And I know it sounds like I got this amazing big old team behind me or something like that. And I guess I do. I got the Lord. I got the Lord. At the end of the day, look, the biggest team I ever need, right? Or the best one, right? But I might sound crazy. But when or if or however this thing happen, man, you know, if it goes that route and stuff like that, look, I have to just come back and let y'all know, hey, the miracle has come to fruition. Because look, the Lord said it's already done. And so look, sometimes we got to just go with that, right? Nobody else don't need to understand that. If the Lord told you it's already done, then go for it, right? I hope y'all received that today. Let me give you guys my final little notes here about this. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do this right quick, friends. Just a few things about this conversation. This is what we can do moving forward. Now that we've heard it's already done, right? This is what we can do to move forward. One, walk in the finished work. All right? If the Lord is telling you it's already done, then walk like it. Talk like it. Act like it. Walk in it, right? It's already done. Next, praise him like it's already manifested. Look, y'all see, I'm praising the Lord in advance. I am looking forward to the day for me to come and tell y'all exactly what I'm talking about, right? But until the end, right, I'm just going to look, do whatever I need to do behind the scenes, praise the Lord in advance. And even if, I'm going to be like the Hebrew boys, even if it don't pan out the way I think it's going to pan out, I know that it's going to pan out the way it should. And I'm praising the Lord in advance about that. I'm doing this again, y'all. I'm so sorry. Keep something ever. Again. Oh, keep moving, even if others don't see it, friends. Like I said, when I first got the glimpse of the opportunity, I said, "Oh, this is for me." And then I got the little things in between. I'm like, "Ooh, well, Lord, how?" And then we was like, "Well, if maybe not right now, but maybe later." And then it got another look. It's already done. Oh, this really seemed like it's for me. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, friends, if you're receiving that, right? If the Lord's saying these type of things to you, then go ahead and look. Move even if others don't see it, right? And then last but not least, friends, receive the early release as a divine wing. Look, like that goes for that early payment that I received yesterday. That goes for that little glimpse in the beginning to say, hey, Look at what I got for you. Oh, thank you, Lord. Look, take that as a nice divine wink from the Lord. Even this conversation. If I said this today and this resonates with you in any way, the Lord is winking right there at you and letting you know it's already done and he got you covered. And that's the juice, y'all. That is the juice for today. Now, the Bible verse of today is 2 Corinthians 3:17. It says, now the Lord that is spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all
tomorrow,
if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.